EU's foreign policy chief Borrell, for example, said the U.S. should consider cutting aid to Israel, and we know that there is growing frustration with Netanyahu's government. Is that at all a possibility that the administration is considering if, it would not have any success in the coming days in terms of moving Israel?
So let me say a few things about that, the most important of which is that we have pursued the policy that we think gives us the maximum ability to be successful in influencing how Israel conducts its military campaign. And how
are you happy with the results?
And in many cases, no, absolutely we are not. We are happy with the fact that we have been able to get humanitarian assistance into Israel. That is the direct result of into Gaza. That is the direct result of U.S. intervention. But at the same time, there has not been enough humanitarian assistance that has gotten in. We are happy with some of the deconfliction measures that Israel has put in place at our specific urging, at the request of the Secretary and others in the administration. Those deconfliction measures have not been as successful as we would like them to be. We are happy that over the past month, we have seen civilian casualties come down from the incredibly high rates that they were. They are still alarmingly high. They are still way too high.
How many times have you heard the most prominent leaders and foreign ministers around the world saying too many people are being killed? President Biden said this is too much on the top. It's not proportional. Well, if you believe that too many people are being killed, maybe you should provide less arms in order to prevent so many people being killed. It's not logical?
So in all of this, it's a process where we engage with the Israeli government, look to use every bit of expertise that we have to communicate to them the steps that we ought to take. And we use all of the levers at our disposal to influence them to the best of our ability, and that'll continue to be an ongoing process.
So you're still ruling out cutting of any aid?
I am not ruling anything out. I'm saying we have not made the assessment that is a decision, or that is a step that would be more impactful than the steps that we have already taken. And at the same time, you have to look at the fact that how such a step would be received by Israel's opponents, both inside Gaza and outside of the state of Israel.
So, Matt, can you just say what levers have you used?
So we have used diplomatic levers. The Secretary
that
has...
Means that means the Secretary and the President and you and Kirby and whoever else standing up and saying, wagging your finger and saying that that's not really leverage.
We have engaged with them on at a multitude of levels at this administration. And as you look at the list that we just went through with Humera, we have seen them take steps at our urging that have had real tangible impact, but they have not been enough.
But what levers have you actually?
I think that when the United States of America stands up and says something publicly, it matters.
But you haven't.
That's a lever,
but you haven't said that there would be any consequences.
To my point, we have seen
in terms of money or military assistance, right?
But we have seen, because of the policies we have pursued, we have seen improvements along these specific areas. We have seen tangible improvements. Again,
but I'm just asking you what leverage have you used? What leverage have you brought to bear?
I just went through it.
What have you gone?
I think the words of the President of the United States, the words of the Secretary of State matter, and we have seen. Hold on, we have
over the top,
and we have seen
leverage.
Everybody goes to Tel Aviv, begging, please, don't do that. Protect civilians. Don't kill so many. How many is too many? Which is the standard? But Netanyahu doesn't listen to anyone. They are going to evacuate. Where? To the moon? Where are they going to evacuate these people?
We have seen the government of Israel respond to it, not always in the way that we want, not always to the degree that we want or to the level that we want, but our interventions, we believe, have had an impact, and we will continue to pursue them because we believe they do.
I'm not trying to take a position on what you have done so far is adequate or inadequate, but you seem to be taking the position that what you have done so far is inadequate. Because while you say you have seen some results from the quote-unquote pressure that you have applied, they're not enough, and that the situation is still not good and not and not acceptable to you. Is that a fair assessment of what you said?
I will say, I think that sometimes people pretend that the United States of America has a magic wand that it can wave to make any situation in the world roll out in exactly the way that we would want it to, and that is never the case.
Okay,
We use the tools that are available.
Other people.
We use the tools that are available to try to influence policy. They are imperfect, and there are ways in which we have been able to show tangible results and more that we want to do, and that is why we continue to stay engaged.
But there are others who would say that you have a multitude of billions of things that you could use to.
I'm aware.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you haven't used those.
In 2006, in the war against Lebanon, the U.S. already took this decision. They already took the decision to pause the supply of arms to Israel because Israel didn't want to stop the war. Exactly the same thing that happens today.
As always, when we look at all of the tools in our at our disposal, we have to look at the upsides of using them, and we have to look at the downsides in making those determinations.
So, but the answer is no.
It is not a determination we have made at this point.
No. But have you gone to the Israelis and said, "Look, if you don't, do what we think you should do, or at least take our position into account, there will be some kind of tangible consequence other than the finger wagging and the president saying this is over the top." Is there any real oomph?
I am not going to get into the private conversations that we have with the government of Israel, but they are quite clear about our positions on these matters.
But it's a little bit contradictory to continue saying that there are too many people being killed, please take care of people, please don't kill so many. Stop saying please and doing something.